King Charles has been pictured just hours after Princess Eugenie provided a fresh health update on the monarch. The king held 3 private audiences at Buckingham Palace on Thursday, while his wife Camilla and Princess Eugenie continued public engagements. The monarch has stepped back from public-facing duties as he continues his cancer treatment but is undertaking meetings in private. Charles welcomed Melor Kairuki and presented the letters of recall of his predecessor and his own letters of commission as High Commissioner for the United Republic of Tanzania in London. The High Commissioner of Singapore, Eng Teck Hian, also presented his credentials for the king and then received Mrs. Mok Ling Ling at Buckingham Palace. Yesterday, Charles was pictured leaving his home in London in a separate car to his wife as well-wishers lined the Mall to wave to the King and Queen. The King stayed behind in the UK as Camilla set off to undertake a 2-day tour of Northern Ireland.
Well, it was very lovely to welcome the Queen here to Hillsborough Castle at her event, which she is hosting today. A very pleasant event, I think, by all accounts, listening to local renowned poets recite on the stage. A very moving event, I think. It was great to welcome her here. I sent my regards to the King in terms of his own health and wished him well, and also to the Princess of Wales.
Yes, Her Majesty the Queen has done huge amounts of work in terms of promoting reading, and this is very much part of her Queen's reading room series of events. So it was fantastic. The poems were absolutely amazing and very much touched on the complexity of our history, heritage and identities here, which is very much part of what we have been trying to promote as well in the last 7 weeks that we've been in post. So it was fantastic to see the Queen. As the First Minister has said, we passed on our regards to His Majesty the King in terms of his health and our best wishes in terms of his recovery on that.
Although Charles has been advised to avoid public engagements by doctors, he does continue to work behind the scenes, holding weekly audiences with the Prime Minister and doing paperwork. Despite this advice, earlier this week King Charles met with veterans Alan Guy, Mike Moggridge, Brian Parrott and Ron Yardley ahead of a reception at Buckingham Palace to mark the 70th anniversary of the Korean War. In a statement from Buckingham Palace on February the 5th, it said that Charles remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. For GB News, I'm Joe Wilmot.